What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. When we last left off with Project Eclipse, we had just found out that there's damage to the bearings on the crankshaft and the rods. If you didn't see that video, I'm gonna have the link up here and also in the description, so definitely check that out and get caught up. But this is now video number 2 in the series of rebuilding this Eclipse. I'm gonna go ahead and get the oil pan put back on, and then we're gonna get started pulling the motor, so I'll see you guys after the intro. Alright, so now that the oil pan is back on, let's take a look at where we're at right now. Basically, everything that is here, except for the exhaust manifold and really the O2 housing and exhaust, is still here. So the turbo's just kind of hanging on here by both the intake and the oil and coolant lines. I've never had a stock DSM, so I'm relatively unfamiliar with pretty much this entire section here, as well as most of the power steering and AC stuff, because my car doesn't have any of that. So I guess we're going to go ahead and just start taking things off and get this motor out of here. Alright, well, I think it's time for a little update. As of right now, we have a big mess, but it's a controlled mess. I have the entire upper harness for the fuel injectors and all the sensors up here and the sensors on the thermostat housing. That's all up here. We pulled the whole intake, the turbo's off. Let's see, I did the throttle cable. That was really just the 2 bolts up here, and now that's sitting up there. I believe I said this in my last video, but I'm going through and like marking, like you can see these ones already were marked by somebody else, but I had to remark this one. So I've got some white electrical tape and a Sharpie here, and I'm going through, and anything that I don't know that I'm gonna, be able to find easily, like this vacuum line, still not even sure where that goes, but I know that this end goes to the intake, so, which I should probably redo this. Electrical tape does not stick to dirty stuff. Guess we're just gonna keep going. I don't really know 100% what's next. I'm just plugging away at stuff. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, I took the hood off. I did that before we were filming because I have a light up there and a light up there, so plenty of light, no shadows, perfect for filming. Alright, so we got another little update. Definitely have done a lot more stuff. I got motor mount off, I got all of the harness stuff, pretty much all of it literally off down here. I actually did find out where that little vacuum line went. It goes to this I don't know, maybe it's a charcoal canister. It is this little guy. But yeah, things are definitely going good. There's really not a whole lot more that's gonna have to come off, although I haven't done anything with this side really yet. So we're gonna be tackling that side after we go get food, which is about to happen here. Just trying to give you guys a little update before we go get food, so I'm going to drain the transmission fluid. That's definitely next. So I got my pan under there already. Just gotta grab my creeper. There we go, we got the transmission fluid draining.
Make a mess.
Josh is here now as well. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
That fluid actually, I mean, it looks decent. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look super old or burnt or anything, so that's a good sign. After this is all drained out, we'll be able to unhook the trans cooler lines, and then we'll go to the other side and deal with all of that. But that'll be after we go get food. Okay, so it's been a few hours. We went out and got food, and then I pretty much just kept knocking this out. So I'll show you where we are right now. We have pretty much everything out of the way. Got my power steering pump out of the way, zip tied. I got my AC compressor, it's down there. It's pulled back so that it shouldn't hit the motor at all when the motor comes out. I took all my vacuum lines off, and I actually marked all my vacuum lines, and I made sure to take off these vacuum lines in a way that I'll know how to get them back on. The trans fluid got drained, I showed that. Both pieces of the subframe out underneath this thing, so they're both gone. There's one here, and the other one's over yonder somewhere. I pretty much tried to keep everything that doesn't necessarily need to be pulled off, like these sensors and stuff. Just kind of unbolt them from the car and leave them on the transmission so that I know where they go. I try to keep everything as intact as possible so that I know how it goes for when I put it back, and also so that I can see everything when the engine's out and see how everything routes. Because it's a lot easier to see it when the engine's out than when it's in. I just got this nice little engine leveler today. So this has these sweet little brackets. So on this side, I'm gonna make use of that L bracket. I'm gonna basically just set it on here, and I'm gonna bolt it into place with a nut, I guess. See how that works. And then on this side, this looks like the factory engine pull location. Typically there is another bracket that goes here, but it didn't come with this car, and mine is at my house, so that's a bummer. I have to not use that, so that's why we're gonna go with this. That should hold up no problem to what I'm trying to do. Let's go ahead and get that hooked up, and then we'll work on getting this thing out. Alright, so now we're set up. I'm using a socket and this nut, so that's nice and tight. And then I have a bolt going through that side, so that should also hold it nice and tight. So we're gonna go ahead and get lifted up on this thing. Take the two motor mounts off, pull it out. Last bolt out. Got the trans cooler lines still hooked up on there. I'll just pull those off real quick. Why?
He doesn't like you, that's why.
Yeah, apparently. It's like, no, I want to stay. I want to stay. Come on, you're gonna go back on later. Thank you. Is that really that hard?
It just needed a little bit of vocal encouragement, I guess.
I guess. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go back? Okay. Alright,
That's fine.
now we're ready to continue. Looks like we're good on the AC lines in the back. I'm gonna tilt this thing a bit more. that's on the ground. That went pretty well. I think it's been about 5 hours. I've just kind of been casually doing this. Wasn't really, you know, trying to go too hard. Just taking my time, making sure I knew where everything was going. And now we have a hole. Oh man, trains flew all over the place. Why can't you guys just stay where you're supposed to be? I put you next to the coolant jug. That's your now home. So one of the things I was really curious about once we got this car apart was the condition of the subframe, and it actually, this looks better than the subframe of my Talon when I got it. Now, I repainted my subframe, but it was really rusty, and this actually looks super nice. Dang, this car is super clean. I mean, it's really dirty right now, but super clean. Like, once we get this all cleaned up, it's gonna look nice. Alright guys, what's going on? It is a few days later. I was here yesterday actually working on that car, and I was taking a peek at this motor, and I want to show you guys something. Hopefully, yeah, that valve on the left is completely broken off. You can see the one on the right. That one on the right, broken off. You can see the one on the left, broken off there. You can see the one on the left. And I think that one's broken off as well. So that's a little concerning. All day today I have been just racking my brain trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do, but still not knowing what is hiding underneath the head. So we have to pull that head off. I gotta know what's going on. I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't be able to put the engine on a stand if I pulled the head off of it, because I'm using this mount right here, which is attached to the head, but I should be able to just attach it to the head studs and put the block on the engine stand, which is right over there right now. So let's go ahead and get this head pulled off. Broke 2 valves. Wow. Alright, here's the carnage. Valve hit the piston there. Wow. That's definitely a newer head gasket. Get the coolant out of here. Wow, that's a real deep mark in there. I'll get a close-up shot for you guys in a minute. I think we might end up being okay. It looks like everything just stayed right at the top. You guys remember, the reason why that just pushed down like that is because they're, well, unbolted from the crank. I'll have to rotate everything to look at the other ones. So far, I think this block might be savable. I was really, really worried, but it wasn't going to be savable. Alright, so let's get some close-up shots here. So here's, what would this be? This is, I believe, cylinder 1. Can see just how bad that is. I mean, that's real dug in there. And then it looks like it hit up here. This piston definitely has some damage as well. Well, they all do, really, but that one got it pretty good too. Wow. Alright, so the real question, what does the head look like? Alright, so here is cylinder 4. Cylinder 3. That one valve looks new, but I can assure you it's not. It's just kind of shiny on camera for some reason. Cylinder 2. And cylinder 1, which is the one that has a chunk out of it. That's cool. This head I do not believe is usable again. So we are already in process over here of taking the transmission off. Already got all 4 of the flex plate bolts off. They're right here. I had to pull the oil pan off to get this piston to move back up. Now I'm just taking the bolts off the transmission, take the starter off, take the transmission off, and I'll put the engine right over here on my stand. So I'm gonna get this thing set out. Okay, so now that's ready to go as well. Should work the way that I have it set up right now, because this is the exact same way that it was set up when I had my engine on it, and this is the exact same engine, so hopefully I don't have to do any adjusting there. Okay, that's the last bolt for the transmission. Alrighty guys, the engine made it on the stand. Need to find another bolt for it. Only got that one in and that one in. I don't have one in this one, but the dowel is in there, so it is helping a little bit. For now, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This has now been episode 2, so still a lot to go, but the engine's out on a stand, and it looks like the block might actually be savable, so that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Make sure you give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next one.